Hey, welcome back. It's Jason Walter here, and in today's video, I'm going to give you a stimulus plan and stimulus check update. I have news regarding the PPP, or the Paycheck Protection Program, the current $1,200 stimulus checks, as well as a potential stimulus plan proposal, and more. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm a real estate agent as well as a licensed certified public accountant, or a CPA in Northern California. I give real estate and stimulus package updates, so that's something that you're interested in. I invite you to subscribe. All right, let's go ahead and dive back into the video. All right, let's talk about some updates regarding the Paycheck Protection Program. So the House of Representatives passed late last week the PPP Flexibility Act. This is just a proposed bill. It still needs to be approved by the Senate and then the President. If you recall, the PPP was passed 2 months ago as part of the CARES Act to help our small business owners stay afloat during this pandemic and also to maintain their payroll to their employees. These funds received by small business owners are 100% forgivable as long as the small business owners use them for qualifying expenses within 8 weeks of receiving their PPP funds. These qualifying expenses must be at least 75% for payroll purposes and only up to 25% through non-payroll expenses. And those would be things like mortgage interest, rent, and utilities. However, the PPP Flexibility Act would extend this period from 8 weeks all the way up to 24 weeks. This act also reduces the 75% payroll requirement all the way down to 60%. Therefore, this would give small businesses 24 weeks to use their PPP funds for qualifying purposes, plus they only have to use 60% of those funds towards payroll expense. The businesses who would benefit the most from this proposed bill would be those who normally do not run payroll, so those people who are self-employed, for example. Also, this would help the other businesses who have not opened up their businesses yet, such as gyms and nightclubs, for example. This bill is now headed to the Senate, and it's been reported that the Republicans do support this bill with some revisions in place. So it's been reported that Republicans want a 16-week period, which is double the current time frame, rather than the 24 weeks that the Democrats are requesting. So obviously there's going to be some negotiations back and forth between the Democrats and the Republicans, so it's going to be really interesting to see what they ultimately pass. If they do agree to an extension of that 8-week period, that is also going to extend the period for when small business owners can apply for loan forgiveness. And that loan forgiveness application is 11 pages long. It's very complicated. So it's going to be really interesting to see what kind of guidance they provide. Okay, let's discuss the next stimulus plan update. As you may recall, the House Democrats passed the HEROES Act, which is a $3 trillion stimulus package proposal that is 1,815 pages long. I won't go into too much detail about that proposed bill because I made a detailed video about that. I'll leave a link in the description below if you're interested in that. But I basically made a video about why this is not going to get passed by the Republican-led Senate. Long story short, but the HEROES Act had a long list of provisions and requests, including $1,200 stimulus checks, hazard pay, another boost to unemployment benefit claims, student forgiveness, and even the suspension of the SALT cap of $10,000, which is for state and local taxes. The response to the HEROES Act was definitely not positive. So for example, President Trump stated that this is dead on arrival. I also want to share some quotes with you made by U.S. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. He said, "If we do another bill, it will look nothing like the House Democrats' bill," which of course is the HEROES Act. He also stated the following. He said, "We're taking a careful look at the fourth and final bill. You could anticipate the decision being made on whether to go forward in about a month." This is obviously not good news because I know many of you need another round of stimulus checks. However, I know this is very, very frustrating because there seems to be no sense of urgency from the Senate because they're basically saying that they're going to respond in about a month. Mitch McConnell also stated the following, and he said that any further legislation will need to focus on practical solutions that help kids return to school next fall, help laid-off Americans get rehired, and stop frivolous lawsuits from stalling our economy. Notice he had no mention of any stimulus checks. Clearly, the Republicans' focus is to get people back to work and to add protections in place for employers against lawsuits. However, Nancy Pelosi fired back and said, "We need a pause. Tell that to the virus. Is the virus taking a pause?" However, in my opinion, this is overall good news because Republicans seem to be more open to another stimulus package, whereas before they seem to be much more resistant to that idea. And by the way, time will tell if this will be the last stimulus package proposal, because if we have the economy opening up, will we have a spike in COVID-19 cases? So I wouldn't say this is going to be the final one for sure, but we will have to wait and see. Personally, I would be very surprised if they do not pass another one-time stimulus check. But what do you think? Leave me a comment below. All right, I have an update from the IRS regarding the current $1,200 stimulus checks that was passed about 2 months ago. You may have heard that dead people have been receiving stimulus checks, and the IRS has issued guidance regarding this as follows. So if a paper check has been received, but it has not been cashed, they are telling people to write void on the check and to mail it back to the IRS. If money was cash or a direct deposit was made for a person who had died before the stimulus checks were received, then they want the people to write a personal check to the IRS and mail it to them. That's what their guidance is. If you still have not received your stimulus checks, you'll receive a paper check in the mail, or about 4 million of you will receive a prepaid Visa debit card in the mail. If you are one of these 4 million people who are going to be receiving these debit cards in the mail, here's a word of warning, and that is that these cards are going to arrive in the mail in a plain envelope. So do not think this is junk mail and throw it away. If you do think you may have thrown it away, I have a telephone number for you. So please call 1-800-240-8100 and you can get a free replacement card. These envelopes will be addressed from the Money Network Cardholder Services. And by the way, the back of the Visa debit card will not be signed by President Trump. All right, bad joke. Moving on. Hey, and a friendly reminder, if you have not filed your 2019 federal income tax returns, those are due on July 15th. If you recall, those were due on April, but they were extended. All right, let me give you some updates regarding unemployment. So right now we have over 40 million people in the United States who have filed for unemployment benefit claims just within the last 10 weeks, which is a mind-blowing number. However, there was positive news, and last week they stated that continuing claims, which basically means that are people who are continuing to receive benefits, that dropped from 25 million people to 21 million people. So therefore, 4 million people went back to work as states start to reopen. Unemployment would also probably be a lot worse without the PPP program. If you recall, the federal boost of $600 per week in unemployment benefit claims is set to end July 31st. Of course, that was part of the CARES Act that was passed about 2 months ago. However, the HEROES Act would extend the $600 per week benefit all the way to January 31st, 2021. But Senate Republicans have already stated that they do not support this extension. It's also been reported that many people are making more money during unemployment than they did when they were working. Let me give you an example. So in California, the maximum unemployment benefits is $450 per week. You add that to the $600 per week for that federal boost, and that is $1,050 per week for unemployment. Divide that by 40 hours per week, and that is a wage of $26 per hour. Plus, what many people are not talking about, in California, you are not taxed at the state level for unemployment benefit claims. So therefore, people who are not working right now and are receiving unemployment benefit claims are actually saving money in state income taxes. So obviously there's a low incentive to get people back to work if they're making more money now during unemployment than they did when they were working. According to the Employment Development Department, or the EDD of California, in California, 5.4 million unemployment claims have been processed since this pandemic begun. In addition, $18.8 billion in unemployment benefits have been paid out during this pandemic. In California, the unemployment rate as of April rose to a record 15.5%. And this is a record number, the highest ever that's been recorded by the Employment Development Department since they started tracking data back in 1976. The previous record was at the height of the Great Recession in 2010 with 12.3%. Some key questions are, how many of these jobs that were lost due to these stay-at-home orders, how many of these are actually going to be coming back? In addition, how many small businesses are not going to be opening up shop again? Please comment below with any questions you may have, and I'll do my best to answer every single one of those. Also, if you want 2 free stocks, then click on the link below because WeBull is giving you 2 free stocks, with one of those being valued up to $1,400 when you deposit $100 on their platform. So if you want 2 free stocks, click on the link below and let me know which free stocks you receive. Please subscribe to this channel and I'll keep you updated with new developments. Also, if you like this video, please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that. You also can follow me on Instagram. I'm Sacramento Realtor. I hope you have an awesome day and look forward to seeing you on the next video.